Chris Maxwell of the Sports Philanthropy Network here with BJ Ganem and Mike Smith. BJ is the founder of Sierra Delta, but more importantly, you are both combat veterans. So first, thank you for your service, but I would love to hear more about Sierra Delta Foundation and what it is that you do to help veterans post-combat.
Well, it's not even just for the combat veterans. Sierra Delta is a community built for all veterans, and we center that around our Life Buddy program, which helps veterans get connected with dog trainers to help train their dog to their individual needs and lifestyle. It's very simple.
Now, I was very excited to have this interview because of the dog aspect. We don't have enough dog content here at the Super Bowl. So I was really excited for this one. I know how much joy my two dogs bring to me and how they help me with my mental health and finding that stability in life when it gets a little bit crazy. So I can't even imagine how helpful they are for veterans who are going through so many different transitions coming out of service. So when you're finding these dogs, what do you think is the biggest help that they bring to you, to the families of veterans, and really, I mean, let's be honest, anyone.
That's so true because dogs and humans have been working together for 35,000 years, right? You already see it. The problems that we face in the veteran community are human problems. And so what we're really trying to do is just really break down the restriction to access. 99% of veterans do not need an ADA medical assistance service done, but they could really benefit from a well-trained dog that is suited to their needs and lifestyle, like sport dogs or running dogs or hunting dogs or agility dogs. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the dog's trained to do. It's matter what you do with your dog. And these dogs can enhance our lives in so many ways. And that's why we created Sierra Delta to help all veterans, whether you signed up and served before 9/11, after 9/11, whether you went to combat, whether you're hurt or not hurt. This is not a needs-based program or a disability-based program. It's a true community, and we're really trying to build a connection with our fellow Americans. They might not understand what we did in the service, but I think they can understand that basic love of a dog and how these dogs can enhance our lives.
So, how many dogs do you have?
I have one.
I have one.
And what kind of dogs are they?
I got a rescue German Shepherd. He was abused for the first year of his life. And so I took him on because they were going to put him down because he was a little bit reactive. And he reminded me a little bit about myself. He's a high functioning sociopath just like me, and we get along great.
Yeah, I have a German Shepherd as well that BJ forced on me. So that's how I ended up. I didn't even know I needed a service dog until I had one. And then that piece of me that I never knew I even needed came through my service dog. So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Hey, don't let. So listen, this guy didn't want anything to do with dogs because they shed, and he didn't want a dog licking him in the face. Now guess who's getting licked in the face?
You know what? You're the crazy dog dad now. That's what happens when you get your fur babies.
I am.
Trust me.
I took Zeus with me to LA. So he would be with me now, but he got a little sick before I left. But he went with us to LA and stole the show. He was a star of Radio Row. Like
Sirius XM used him. He was laying on their logo
Yeah.
and used him for their advertisements.
hey, he's a service dog. I would legit lose him.
Yeah.
There'd be some random woman over there laid out on the floor playing with him. I was like,
Yeah.
you can't come today.
So, I've been here for a week
Okay.
and I got two dogs at home and I miss them so much.
Oh, yeah.
I miss my husband too, but
Yeah,
I really miss my dogs because again, of all that joy they bring. So now now that you are a crazy dog dad and you have this service animal who provides so much more than just, company, right? How are you feeling now here without it? What is that change that you're seeing now in your persona and your mentality not having Zeus here?
So it's like having kids, right? So like, you have kids, and you're like, man, I just need that break. And then when you get on that break, and you're just like, maybe I didn't need that long of a break. It's like he's like my family. Like my daughter's in college. I'm not married, so when I need to vent or whatever, he does this little tilt of the head, like he understands that whole active listening. And I was like, bro, I know you don't care, but I appreciate you being here anyway.
You know he cares.
Yeah,
Come on now.
It's that unconditional love.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. So I take it you are a dog lover, but
Yes, indeed.
why was this the core mission and the inspiration for starting Sierra Delta?
When I got injured in Thanksgiving night of 2004 and ended my Marine Corps career, I was angry that I was no longer a Marine. I didn't finish that deployment. And I did all the stereotypical things that you read about veterans and getting in trouble and whatnot. And I got to a really low point. And as I was rationalizing everybody else away, my kids would be better off without me, my family's better off without me, I got to the dog I had at the time, which was Dozer. He was an old English bulldog. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. I was always a big bulldog fan. I was in the Marines. The bulldog is the mascot, and plus, I look a little bit like a bulldog.
Does,
Yeah. Right?
does.
So we were
A lot of similarities.
natural. So I bought a dog off of Craigslist for $800 on my first convalescent leave. He slept on my neck. You know, no special training, no special breeding. His only talents where he could get slobber in places he thought was physically impossible to get slobber into, and
It's a
clear a
great
room
talent.
clear a room with his parts, right? But he was always there for me, no matter what. But when I got to him, I realized if I check out and quit, if I give up this precious gift of life, he's going to suffer because he'll end up in a shelter and he'll be euthanized like the other 800,000 healthy, trainable, and adoptable dogs that we kill every year in this country. And that was enough for me to pull my own head out of my ass. I was up putting one foot in front of the other, whether it was my carbon fiber and steel foot given me by science or the flesh and blood foot given me by God. I could handle it. And I knew that we didn't need all this extra regulation and training and try to pick out dogs for veterans. 68% of American households have a dog in it. Let them pick their own dog and let's get the trainers to help train the dog and the veteran so that they can be active and so they can connect with other people, not based on their disabilities, not based on their military service, but on that common love of a dog. And we can bring that out through training and routine, which is both helpful to the dog and the human.
And now you're partnered with the NFL. So thank you for that, because as a dog lover, thank you for saving all the puppies.
Absolutely.
But the NFL also loves dogs,
Yes.
apparently. And we
Yeah.
know they love their veterans. They do so much with the different organizations. So how has that partnership with the NFL really helped Sierra Delta? And kind of as a side note, as I'm reading up on this, like one of the first things is that you're teammates with Snoop Dogg because of the NFL. So I'm gonna have to hear about that as well.
Yeah. So we had a flag football game. We started out with the Wounded Warrior amputee football team, and we did that from like 2011 on.
Yeah.
And it was great. We built these great relationships with these players, and we learned the similarities, right? Like of what not only military veterans face when we have to take the uniform off, but what these players are going through when they have to take that jersey off. And it was such a great camaraderie. We learned so much about each other, and we had a lot of fun, right? And so being here with the NFL, having these players, you know, we can bring some humanity to the players. Like everybody looks at them like divas because they make so much money, and they can bring some of that spotlight to us. And then we help each other. And it's again, at the end of the day, we're having fun. We're enjoying America's favorite sport, and we get to meet all kinds of great people here at Radio Row.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we standing here with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm kind of cool.
I'm
Wait,
very
wait.
cool. You just made a TikTok today, right?
There you go.
No, I love this, obviously, as a dog lover. I love this initiative. I love how many people we have heard come here and compare that transition period, like you mentioned. That's the one thing that a lot of professional athletes, which you are both, a professional athlete and a veteran, they have in common is transitioning from that active service, that active playing, to now being what I like to a civilian, like myself,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So I thank you for finding that relationship with the two, and I'm so happy that the NFL has you on board. How can people get involved and how can they get their service dog to bring them as much joy as our dogs bring all of us?
That's great. It's really easy. You go to sierradelta.com. For the veterans, you join right into the community, go right through ID Me, and you're in. We'll help you out from there. Supporters, we need you. We're going to do 300 grants this year, and our goal is to try to get to 10,000 veterans annually in dog training by 2030. We don't take any government money. We're not out there writing for grants. We think that the American people, the businesses that are out there, like our great sponsor, Blue Buffalo, they do a sales campaign every year, and that generates the money that we need to help these individuals, these veterans, these men and women that raised their right hand and went and did all the hard stuff for us, help them help themselves.
Well said.
Thank you.
I feel like Mike's the hype man over here.
He dresses a lot better. You know, he looks a lot better, but, you know.
I feel like I bring the swag to the
Yes.
There it is.
organization.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a you are his service here as dog right now.
Yeah.
I'm his companion.
You know, a lot of times I say, since I'm out here begging for money for the veterans, I might as well look like a homeless veteran, right?
He knows that. Me, I refuse.
That's right. That's
I
right.
love the contrast. But thank you guys so much for what
Hey,
you do.
thanks for helping us get the word out.
Absolutely. We love to support our veterans, support our troops. Again, thank you for your service and thank you for being here with us on the Sports Philanthropy Network at the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Guys,